Hi YouTube. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm doing so. I've been like heat attacked for a few days and startled and different weird things. Like last night I got up, it was 77 degrees in the house. There was no air. All the windows had been closed because Doug was cold and he thought he was keeping me warm, is what he said, and then he had to keep saying it to justify the fact. And I told him, I've been telling him that I had even been sleeping with my window open in the winter because I've been so overheated. So uh, I, he said, oh, this was the bottom line, true narcissist style. There's no uh, fireplace in his room. He says, well, I'll just go in my room and start a fire then next time. I'm like, that sounds like a really good idea. Sounds like a good plan. So you can't win for losing. I mean, there's nothing you can say, um, or I can say. I can't prove malintent. I know it is, you know, but whatever, So I'm just telling you, I'm not feeling the greatest, but I keep trying every day, and these things keep happening to me, and they're very real, you know. So it's really hard to keep my health strong. And I think, jealousy might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. But like I was up early, I had a load of laundry in, I had my kitties fed, I was just doing, getting things done the way I have to do, making coffee, whatever. And then Satan gets up and justifies his bullshit. But anyway, talk about bullshit. Um, Robin's Hood had his dog die of um, energy pulses and satanic um, thoughts towards his dog. I know it for a fact. I had 3 of my animals within 6 months, not the first time in my life, expire because other people. I mean, you could see the sadness even on my dog's face when she was being murdered. She knew it. And these poor little things, they can't figure out why people would want to harm them. They have no clue. And that's the most painful thing about the whole thing is these poor animals have no clue why they're being tormented. But they know they are, you know. So, yeah. And I've had that so much now in my life that people are like, or Doug, maybe you want another dog, maybe you want another horse. No, I don't. The cat I'm taking care of can go outside if I can make a means to find another place for myself to live. I'm not being tied down by anything or anybody, but I know what's being done to me and other people and our animals. This is all really real, and it is intentional to try and, okay, see, they can't turn us evil, so they're trying to kill us or weaken us to make us bow to their whims. That's really the bottom line. So if they can't beat you and make you join them, they'll try and kill you. And if they can't kill you, they'll kill your animals. That's exactly what's going on. So, yeah. So like I said, I could be feeling a little bit better, but I still keep doing what I have to do until I can't anymore. You know, it's not, I never ever would have thought about going up against somebody with malfeasance, like like premeditated. Um, but I find myself being put in positions where I have to defend myself or die. And this is the reality of it all. When it gets so serious that your health is being affected, that's attempted murder, no matter how they try and paint it, it doesn't matter. And I expect to probably hear it one more time today. I already heard it 3 times within a half hour, and all I mentioned was next time you get cold, just close the windows on your part of the house, you know. And I've asked that. You've heard me say it here before. So I think if you can get it, and I know you heard me say it, then somebody else could get that also. And like I explained last time it happened, I could tell my grandchild to open or close a window or not to, and that's exactly what they would do. Because not only because they're my blood, but they're actually human, you know. I don't think these creatures are human. I'm convinced. There is no, you know, you can't hold your breath talking to what Dr. Samuel would call the mentally deaf. They just don't want to hear it. If it doesn't fall in line with their patterns of what they expect in their life, I mean, yeah, and we all should, but if it doesn't follow the word of God, it's absolutely not on my schedule, you know, or in my future. Nothing like that ever will be, you know. So basically, for me, I'll boil it down in just when I'm living with a fucking ethereal slut, everything else is fair game, mentally, physically, whatever. Then whatever is brought out on me because of that foolery put towards me is what they're going to get. I'm getting to the point where it is an eye for an eye, you know, although I will not personally like change temperatures to try and harm somebody or have fumes in the house that somebody's highly allergic to, or ignore if they're allergic to certain foods or whatever. Because I was a nurse, I took care of people, and I was a nutritionalist for my state in the school. Um, so there's no way that I would put something even near somebody that wouldn't isn't supposed to have that type of thing, or it would harm them. There's no way, because I'm conscious. I have a conscience, That's what being awake is, and having a conscience, you know. And I will not buy the fact that somebody has been through so much trauma and hell that that's the reason for their poor behavior. Because I personally, this is just me personally, but I have never met another person that has been through the amount of things I have been through, because I stand up to the dark cabal and they hate me. So, yeah, I've been tortured, and so have all my animals. All the best I can do on that note is say, yes, I believe our animals are in heaven with God waiting for us. And there probably is a lot more animals in heaven than there will be people. That's my outlook on there. I believe that. And if people are torturing you, I don't know if you want them in your future, but I don't. That's I'm clearly stating how I feel, you know. Yeah, they can have a change of heart, but they don't have now and they're dangerous. So what next? Wait for the next thing they do? That's all we can do. Try and protect ourselves from it. If you would have seen the look on my dog's face when she knew that somebody else's mind was putting bad thoughts in her head or instructing her to do things, or even like cats would sit there and stare at my dog like I saw happening to Robin's dog. I seen Decker, his cat, sitting there staring. That cat was directed by witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. That's what's going on. I'm not going to point fingers and say who was directing that cat, but somebody was, and made it difficult for the dog to eat. My dog couldn't even lay down sometimes. Different things that would happen. My horse, I mean, any animal I've ever had has been destroyed by other people. I've had the most obedient animals, loving, kind. I mean, all animals normally are, that could turn entirely stupid because you have one person trying to teach them the right way to keep them out of trouble. It's just like with children, and then you have somebody else that's letting them do whatever they want to do. And in their formative years, they're not forming what's going to be a conscientious human being. And that's the difference, you know. But you can grow out of that as an adult. By the time you're done being a kid, you have decisions to make. And then you form who you are as an adult. And as soon as you know better, you're on the list for hash browns if you're not obedient to God. It's as simple as that. You either believe you have a creator or you think you created yourself. And we all know that that just isn't true. So I personally don't take offense that God loved me enough to create me and call me his daughter. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, the force of good coming from the Christ Spirit through all people, that's the only goodness I have ever seen in my life. You know, I don't personally really have a good friend or anybody to talk to that gives a shit. How about you? Do you? I wonder. I wonder how many people can actually say that I mean, I might have a couple people if they had the means, like if I was stuck in another state or something, that people might help me. But that's a big maybe, maybe not. If they could, I'm sure there's a couple that might if they could, but that's even iffy, you know. Maybe one, or some of you, perhaps, you know. But yeah, the things that they do and then just try and write off like it's some mistake or they aren't smart enough to grasp what you're going through for your health or anything. That doesn't matter. Why pay attention to that? You know? It's, I love you. Oh, yeah, sure you do. I can tell. Everybody loves the feel of a fresh, stagnant, hot house to sleep in. We just flourish like that. You know? So anyway, I'm happy I got a couple loads of laundry done, kitties fed, exercises done. I'm gonna later sweep my floor. Um, that's about it. Last I got stuff to eat for tonight. I had made a oh, it's like a Hungarian goulash, or um I took penny pasta and hamburger and peppers and onions and chunks of tomato and made like a tomato sauce and threw that all in the oven with a little cheese on top, and then had some salad with it. I have leftover. It was really super good, and I have leftovers for tonight, so I don't have to worry about making anything to eat. And I really wouldn't have anyway. That seems when I have extra food made, and this really does fall on the cruelty factor. What is done to me? If something isn't made to eat, he won't be as animalistic. But if he's got plenty to eat, and I've seen it so many times, you wouldn't believe it. Um, Might as well just put a big D on his head, and that isn't for Doug, you know. But this is all real, what I'm telling you, you know. If you want to know where the force of evil stems from, it's the father of all lies and his children of disobedience, and he does have another half that is feminine. She carries his male mind, he carries her female mind, and that's how they operate. That's how they communicate like that within our lives. Yep, they sure do. And I know who they are. And at least one other person knows what I'm saying is true because he lives with Satan's wife. And I know you do. I know her. I recognize her, don't you? Doesn't everybody know who their mother is? You know? Yeah. Well, if you don't yet, I guess you're going to find out, but I think you're catching on, you know. And this is the cruelty we live on this planet. Sounds a little crazy to those of you that are um, just thinking everything's normal on this planet, you know, or that something may be crazed within me or something, you know. Yeah, it sounds a little whack. I understand that, you know, but what I'm telling you is absolutely true. There was something more I was going to say along those lines. We can't fix these people. They're doing what they want to do. That's what I was going to say. This is all to control us and to keep our spirits here, to feed them, clothe them, work for them. And the biggest thing that's pissing them off right now is they're finding themselves having to work harder than they ever did before, and they can't stand it. They think they're royalty and that we're their slaves. Well, they know we're not their slaves, but they were hoping that we wouldn't realize we weren't, you know. And now they know we do. We realize who we are. This is not only putting fear in these people, but it's making them angry, and they are acting out. They're doing more stuff to everybody we love. Look around. If you're battling Satan, your loved ones are dropping emotionally, physically, because 9 times out of 10, they're not as strong as you, or they're walking on the dark side hand in hand with these creatures. And that's how I was raised, with everybody from the dark force, with no light in my life until I got online, or very, very sparse a little light here, a little light there, cowering in fear if they talked to me or said something true, that they were going to be punished for it. And a lot of people are afraid they will be punished for standing up for what's right, you know? And they probably will be. Well, I have more important things to do in my future than to worry about what some potential slave master is going to do to me next, you know? Well, whatever. If you think I'm your slave, that's okay. I'll put my crown on your head for a minute and you can pretend to be a female because you're just a bitch. So here's my crown, bitch. And for your woman, there you go, King Nothing. Have at it. Destroy all the life you can. Take all your ugly fears with you, and then we'll be done with you. So hurry up and die. Whatever. I don't have sympathy for these people. I have pity. I used to have a lot of anger, but I've curbed that because that just harmed me, you know. So I deal with it, even out of my own kids, you know. And I heard too there's some, especially I see out of narcissist men or men that had narcissist mothers. There's other ways to have narcissist sons without being a narcissist mother. You can be a totally righteous mother that loved her little boys, but enough to teach them how to grow on their own and the way they were raised by their father being a narcissist father in an incestuous family, passing that on to their sons is another way to end up with narcissist sons. It isn't only the mother, it's the absence of the father's strength and love that can totally destroy a child also. So it goes two ways. And then you have narcissist fathers and narcissist daughters that will team up and destroy a man. So, I mean, these things go, there's varying degrees of all this stuff, you know, because there's no way in hell I ever looked at my sons wrong, not one time, and didn't raise them to be around me for the rest of my life. I raised them to be good, decent human beings that they always found fault with the way I was raising them because I wouldn't join in their filthy games that their father's side of the family taught them. And I tried to keep my kids away from all that. It just didn't. It might, in the end, end up helping them my strength and not backing down to who I know I am, you know. But I've seen it. I've seen the look at a. I grew up watching. I thought, well, my adopted mother looking at my son like he was her lover, and that never changed. They're still together, and they argue like husband and wife. It's totally repulsive. And I learned when I was a little tiny child that this was not normal, and I did not want to grow up to be anything close to anything I saw like that. Not even close, you know. That's when I started Well, for the sake of my kids too, but I mean, not just going into nursing, but then later becoming a trained medical TMA and counselor and a minister, a licensed ordained one, as a counselor for people. And I think a lot of it, like I say, started just to try and help my sons, my children, even my stepdaughter. She had a lot to do with that, but long story. But I thought in some weird way, if I could learn all the psychological problems that a person could go through, that potentially I could find a way to interject something to help somebody somewhere along the line. Maybe even be that female figure of strength and friendship that somebody didn't have, that they could see that, yeah, it actually is a real thing on this planet. That's what women are supposed to be like, you know, compassionate, like you can even sense when your child's cold or, you know, those types of things, or lonely or upset, or all these good things, you know, that normal parents would feel and do. Not something I had, but like I say, I learned from what I didn't have and from watching other real families that did have that and how they would treat their children with respect and give them their dignity, not baby them, you know, but treat them like little human beings instead of just things. Like, you're just a thing. I didn't plan you with God. I just put you on this planet because you were some kind of mistake, you know? That's how a lot of people act, you know. Well, if you weren't designed by your mother and God, who were you designed by and why? What's your purpose? You know? But there's no way these people can put any doubt in my mind about who I am, no matter how they try. It's just like these freaks trying to make me call some man a woman. You're not going to make me let go of my value and my integrity and what I know is righteous and biologically sound, you fucking retards. It's not ever going to happen. If I was stupid and retarded like that, Doug would love it. He wouldn't love me. He would love that fact because he could feel superior without knowing the truth that he isn't. But unfortunately, he had to come across the fact that there is somebody that actually is. And if you're in that ballpark of telling the truth and you're on God's team, you're flipping right, you're superior. Put your head up high. You better. Then you're a friend of mine. And we don't have any problems, you know? That's a fact. But if you're playing on that other team and people and animals are getting hurt because of you, there's nothing I won't do to you in the ether, or personally, I won't put my hands on you, but I might kind of urge you to try it with me. And if you have a good heart, don't get angry. Even if you have a tendency to, like me, I'm a little hot tempered, don't go there. It's better that we fight side by side than each other. That's a fact. And I would surprise you. So please honor that and don't disrespect me there, and I'll do the same for you. And I am a martial artist, and I'm probably the best on the planet as we speak. But of course, that's just me, just toot my own horn, but it's a fact. That's why I'm where I'm at. Actually, for a form of protection for me and it, but I have had to save it before. So, because God doesn't want it yet, He wants it to have a chance to make a perfectly informed decision before He chooses um, the lower vibration for the rest of His eternity and His separation from God entirely. And that's the decision that we all have to make ultimately. Like, how comfortable do you want to be in the afterlife? And do you believe there is an afterlife? Do you think you were before? And do you think you will be again? Or maybe you're just not even real right now? I don't know. I don't know what you think. I think I was before. In fact, I know I was. Some of you know my face. You see my face? I mean, my face is in pictures all over this planet. I recognize myself. Why doesn't anybody else? Well, a few people do. There was a picture of a cherub or a cherubim, whatever, not accurate anyway. And somebody says, that looks like you. I go, yeah, I'm not surprised. I know, you know, what I look like. And not a lot of people look like me like that. So, whatever. So, yeah, I came here to help. And I don't believe I'm here to actually try and help change any satanic mind. I'm here to be a friend to the people that are being attacked by that dark force, the bad thoughts that aren't you. Don't own them. Let them go. That's not you. Now, if you get angry or something and it's real, somebody like meant to insult you and they have no regard for any kind of love for you as a human being or anything, you have a right to be angry. Just don't let it eat you up. Give it to God. And maybe swear at him a little first and then give it to God. you know, it'll be okay. Because demons hate to be swore at. They do. I found that out. Used to scare me, I thought. Well, and then I just got so upset. And then I started figuring out, wow, if I get mad and I swear, that really pisses them off. But what really gets them is that I would have the audacity to fight back or actually break a bone. It's like, oh, you want to beat me up? Here, take that. How did that feel? Okay, now we're both having a good day, you know. And that's the frame of mind I'm in now. Lay your hands on me and find out what will happen. Even you're not going to even get there, you know. Did you all try that catching trick I showed you, which you put something on your hand and then grab it before it falls? Slide your hand back. Find out how quick you are. That's just your hands, how your feet's doing. you know, can you run if a bear was chasing you? Can you touch your toes or put your elbows on the ground? Try that. Can I? Yeah. I can put my arms through my legs with my head down looking the other way. That's how limber I am. So when I'm not just bragging, I'm just telling you that I am a warrior like that, and they do try to kill me. So I can't get out here and talk to you. Cheers, everybody. That's the truth, too. But my love and my heart for the righteous people and the people that I recognize that have been traumatized and attacked by narcissists and formed you like that, you were not the narcissist. You may have adopted that for a while. It's hard to pull ourselves out of the dark when there is no light around us. We don't have that example. All we can count on is the grace of God and the Spirit of God within people, and we can gather for ourselves and raise our own selves with the help of God. I recognize it when people do that. You're the strongest, most loving people on the planet. Yeah, you are. And they hate you for it because you were not supposed to rise. You were supposed to stay where they put you, just like them, never excelling any further than what they did, because that helps them justify the filthy assholes they always were. If they can get you down on that level and get you to do malintent towards another human being like they do, intentionally planning these things, or spur of the moment, they're very impulsive, then they won. Well, not here, not ever. But when it comes to hurting the children and the pets, it has a tendency to kind of really rub you the wrong way. When you know who's responsible for it, don't sugarcoat it. You know who fucking did it. So do I. You know, whether it's a parent or a spouse or a friend or a child, when you have these things happen to you and around you, expose them. Don't sugarcoat it. There's people out here like me that care. Unless you don't want me attacking them for whatever reason, like what? They don't deserve a bad word from anybody else but you? Like you're um, the ultimate bottom line of protection on this planet for every child and animal ever created. Well, God made warriors for that, and I'm one of them. So, I mean, you can try and pretend that the people in your life didn't harm your dog, but I know they did. It's all orchestrated to try and keep you here, to try and tear you down, and to try and make you denounce God in any way possible, and to take your happy away. If they can take your smile away, and if they can take um, your friends out of your life, or people like me, I love you, I care about you, if they could take that out of your head and say, well, she's a liar, or she really did, she's just saying that, or whatever these voices or people in your immediate local area might tell you or whatever. Just know that that is the untruth, not the other people that are being attacked just like you, if there are any that you know of. Yeah, expose them. Like I tell you, expose your local demons. They're going to hurt you anyway. They're going to keep doing things to you anyway. Now, you can say that a narcissist is not as dangerous as a psychopath, but a psychopath is narcissistic. So it's on what level is this is a sociopath, for instance, not the same as a narcissist either. That could even be schizophrenic, but they all have narcissism in common, you know. And a narcissist has a tendency for violence. I'm not saying absolutely always. I'm saying with their actions, with their words, even their agenda that is satanically driven. This is intricately who they are, one of his minions. If you don't fit in that category, then I'm not talking to you. But normally narcissists are very psychotic, you know, and we know that's true. So, are all of them dangerous? No. I would say a codependent or a borderline isn't necessarily always a dangerous person, but a full-blown narcissist, they're impulsive, yeah, they can be very dangerous. And you know what I said is just true. You know, whether they do something directly or indirectly and it harms you, and it could even just be words. Maybe like what used to happen to me a lot is he would sit outside my room constantly. I could move the table and he'd still find a way to be like in my, like, hoovering. Um, Even that within itself was like a stifling barrier, like pinning me up against the wall type of emotionally, like you can't have any other friends but me. Well, I'm sorry, dude, but you're not my friend. You don't act like a friend, so I'm going to find other ones. I started out here looking for some kind of minister or doctor or somebody that could talk to Doug or know about him that could help me with him. Um, but he brags about being born dead because he was breached. He had the umbilical cord tied around his neck. Well, you know, some of us have lost our lives and come back, but so there really is no excuse to be an empty shell of a person. You still have the opportunity to judge what is good or bad, especially if you can go out in public and you can act like a decent human being. But the minute you think you can get away with something that's shady and you're going to do it, you made a decision. You're fully aware and you're fully functioning between what is right or wrong. It's criminal, you know. Then you make the decision. in the eyes of God, even if you can't be seen in the public eye, to be a criminal or not. So if I went and got my PhD and had my doctorate in psychology, would that make any difference on my knowledge? No, not really. I made my, well, I went to a psychiatrist for my children and I, and in hopes to take the Masons, that Jesuit that raised me, into counseling to try and get some help for the whole family. Didn't work. But in the meantime, I made this woman the head of 5 counties, one of the best in our state, could not deal with my trauma. She started crying. How do I talk to somebody if they can't handle the sorrows of what I'm going through? And then try and give me pills for depression when there is no pill for sadness. You know, only God can help drag us out of that darkness of sorrow, you know. And friends, hopefully friends will help, you know. But this woman started crying, and I actually felt sorry for her. But then I knew that I couldn't keep talking to her because, you know, whatever. So, yeah, there's different things that happened with all that with my children too, and I ended up really actually having to. I had a woman. I had two psychologists fired, one out of the school and one from the state that I had working with my children. I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't tell my kid it's okay to swear or steal or put down my child or whatever, different things. It's like, no, if you're going to work in the mental health field, the first thing you have to have is compassion. Maybe not too much, you know? Have to be strong enough to be able to deal with people's sorrows first above your own and then to be able to carry on. I don't know, maybe this woman had a daughter, a sister, or a mother, or somebody, maybe she had a child die. I have no clue. And when I told her about things I had been through, maybe it just was way too much for her. I have no clue. But she lost it. I felt like handing her a tissue, but she was the one with the tissues on her desk, so yeah. And then they are trying to normalize that narcissism is some sort of strength on this planet. No, being cold hearted and manipulative and vengeful and just all around nasty is not, there's no virtues there whatsoever. You know, if you can't make a friend on this planet that can make a list of the things that they truly love about you, you lost. You're lost. Or you were put here on purpose because you didn't have those virtues and you have a chance to learn them. But you would have to actually ask God to help you learn them because other people can't show us these things. It's something that grows within us because we have that want. Still gets me though women narcissists. How can you? Men, yeah, I can see that. You know, they're supposed to be the protectors and maybe a little combative, but a woman, I mean, that's unnatural. Even me having to feel that way to defend myself, this is some unnatural shit, and I'm not liking it. Or having our dogs die or people die. No, it's all unnatural. It might seem natural and normal, but it's not. We're souls in here. There's more. They're trying to make us believe that there isn't more. They're trying to take God totally out of the picture so you have nobody to talk to and no future whatsoever. Just more slavery and more depression and more murder and death, sickness, sorrow. It's also unnatural. Even like I say, animals don't understand it. You can see it in their eyes when they're dying. They just really do not understand any of this. And when it's happening to them, when they're going through it, they just look at you for help, and we can't help them. We're helpless to help them. That pisses me off. It really does. I've seen it too much. So I'm really not going to pretend that it doesn't happen and that these people don't do things intentionally and that they use directed energy weapons and the ether and each other's minds and cultish behavior to continuously bombard the good hearts and souls on this planet that are deserving of good things that they keep from us as they luxuriate in their wealth, or anything that they want is laid at their feet at any time, and that's what they expect. Well, I'm here to put a jam in that cog, a wrench in the cog of their wheels of progress. You know, maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're a wrench in the gears of somebody's bullshit. That's me. Like I say, the Masons used to tell me my middle name was Trouble. Well, I'm not troubled. I was trouble for them. Well, they had to teach me because they couldn't beat me, and that would be scary, like I've told you over and over, when they try to kill me and they can't do it. And the temperature thing is the big thing. It's not menopause. I went through menopause at 34 years old. That was a long time ago. Has nothing to do with that. Has to do with somebody fucking with the heat and the temperature and the windows and all that continuous thing. The bullshit, the words. It's never a day. Maybe I've had in 33 years, maybe 3 days of total peace. It must have been tired or sleeping or whatever, but every other day has been absolutely abnormal. And the stench off these people is death. I can't describe it any more than that. They have, I mean, it's hard to even, like, to be in close proximity. And you don't notice it when they're younger, but the older they get, and even taking care of themselves isn't quite what it's cracked up to be. and even eating around people, or it's horrible. It is horrible. Talk about a weight loss program. Ever want to lose weight? Just get around somebody that no amount of soap's going to clean that stuff off. That'll curb your appetite. May not curb theirs. There's no water to quench that thirst. They're demonic. And yeah, it does. It smells like a oily, like if you mixed a dirty body with death. And we've all probably smelt something that was decaying. It smells like decay and black goo oil. I could even show you, like, I don't know why, and I have different towels and washcloths that I use separately. I try to. Otherwise, I would be so grossed out I couldn't even explain it to you. But I have this pink towel, light pink, that Doug used last night, and it's black even after he washed and dried himself. Explain that. And the odor is just, oh. I can ask him too, like, not to put your hats in a wash machine, that I want to, like, hats and different work clothes, I want to wash separately. Nothing matters, nothing registers. It's like, oh, unbelievable. Like bringing sewer shoes in, and I'm like, can we wash these things, Actually working on the sewer, the septic, and comes in and puts them by the kitchen table, and then I put them over by the door, and I'm like, these are washable, you know. It's like he enjoys the odor of death or something. I don't know. I really, or feces. It's like I tell people, if you have food on your hands and you're walking around this planet and everybody, oh, you got to wear a mask and use your wet wipes or whatever and clean your hands, sanitize them, whatever. But yet you'll eat food and you'll touch your phone and touch the doorknobs, and that turns into fecal matter. Within hours, just a few hours, this starts decaying, even if it's just sugar or grease or whatever it is, on your steering wheel, in your car, in your everything you touch. You're now spreading E. coli all over the planet. Or um, another big one is streptococcus, you know, like zits. There's another one too that I was trying to think of there. Oh, it's related to SARS, not Morgellons, but there was another something that goes along in there too with not washing your hands. But we can't. What? It's, wow, more offensive for me to not call a man in a dress a she than it is for me to eat something and not wash my hands and walk all over this planet making everything filthy. I'm more of a criminal for not being insane than you are for acting insane, or whoever, because most people do not act like I do when it comes to preparing food or cleaning or not like that. Not even close. Nobody I've met, you know. Here's a for instance. How many of you grab an onion out of the bag and just peel it and cut it up? When your knife goes through that onion that has been in the ground and has only been rinsed, you're now contaminating the whole dish that you made with germs. What you do is you peel your onion, you cut the ends off and peel it and wash it and wash the knife you cut the ends off with, and then you chop it up, you know. But most people don't do that. I've noticed, I've seen chefs not prepare their onions the right way. I went to chef school, I know what I'm talking about. But I also know the right way to prepare things and what to do to keep people safe from bacteria that gets on our food, you know. Oh no, did I just put another step of work in your life? Well, it's important. Just like lettuce or anything else, you need to wash those things before you put them in your body. Yes, you do. If you buy them from somewhere, if you don't grow them for yourself, you better wash them. At least in my country, because what they allow here through the Food and Drug Administration isn't like over in Europe. Your country cares about you, your countries. They don't care about us here, you know. Now, if you have what I would call totally regressed human beings that are the Nephilim bloodline, and they're demonic and they're satanically connected in your life, how many of them are on pharmaceuticals that you know of? I bet most of them, I would say. I would say it's probably accurate because they are being protected by the Dark Cabal. Oh, yeah, they are. That's how they do it, too. It isn't, pharmaceuticals aren't just to destroy us. There's pharmaceuticals that you'll never get that people that work for Satan will get to take care of themselves. And here's a for instance, they have med beds and they have healing frequencies. They could pump healing frequency music through the whole world, but you'll never see anything that like that happen. Or maybe you will. Maybe you'll live to see something like that. Maybe I will. Never know. But yeah. So, oh yeah, and if you noticed, I have the noise of my air conditioner on because it's probably 100 degrees outside. So Doug went out. Somebody's out there. Here's another thing. He was like, this is the lack of the faith of what I deal with. Um, Concerned like we're getting low on money, but we have things for sale. And yeah, oh, worry, worry, worry. And I'm like, I put it in God's hands. We're going to be okay. Next thing you know, he gets a couple phone calls and he's going to be making some money. I knew that. I knew things would be okay, but I have to listen to some insecure and his lame ass shit trying to upset me when I know better. You know, it's just the bullshit that normal people could live without from people that do not have God in their life. They're wicked and they have ungodly ways, and they try and put it upon other people because they do not want to stand up tall. They want to believe in Darwin's theory that they were created and evolved from chimpanzees, and they're making it very apparent to me that they probably did, because that's the value in the substance of the human beings that were, if they are human beings, that we're surrounded by. Monkey boy, monkey people, monkey girl, whoever, whatever. So no, I don't have any respect for these people, and I'm not going to pretend I do. And if you're new here, the first time listening to me, I'm not just living here because I think it's funny or I'm playing some kind of game. I've got videos trying to sell my house, my half, and land, which has a creek and a pond and other natural wells and artesians and all kinds of things to set you up for life with some kind of contract, even selling Doug with it. Not literally, but you know, with on the land or some kind of deal. So, and I gave him a letter of divorcement. And it's signed, it's dated. All he has to do is take it into the courthouse. And like I told him, do what you want to do. Just leave me out of it. You know, don't get more straight up than that. You know, that I am out here now, not trying to help him, but talking to my friends because they're going through the same type of things. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for anybody that is a regressed human being. Either rise up to my level or stay down in the mire. I don't care. And I don't care how you see yourself or me while you're down there. I don't care. I made a living before I came here, and I don't need to worry about that because God will always take care of me. No matter, I never worried I could move anywhere and get a job or a home or friends or whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, without any concerns. I mean, yeah, I'd have to work towards things and excel, you know, or go to school or um, go without sleep or food or walk or whatever it took. But I would still make it work one way or another. I don't worry like that. So when somebody tries to put that worry on me, I'm just looking at them like, who the f are you? I don't even know you, you know? I don't know anything about anybody like you know? But they're always trying to make you doubt who you are. Why not give it up? Aren't you done yet? Don't you understand? Like after 3 decades, you don't even have a chance on changing my mind? I know who's always taken care of me. It certainly wasn't Satan or anything that resembles him. So, yeah, I'm on the attack. You're damn right I am. So don't pacify your local demon. I hate them motherfuckers. Don't play with me and don't play with them. This is not a fucking game. I even had my horse injure her foot because of ill intent and bad manners and rude people. All kinds of bad things happen to my animals because I love God, you know? So I do know what that heartbreak feels like, to look in the eyes of my animals and have them begging for help when there isn't any to be found because they're expiring because of bad things that happen to them. and they know it, and we know it. I don't take it lightly. And this isn't just the animals. These are human beings that they damage in the same ways. So I'm not sad for them. I'm really not. I can't stand them. I I've prayed and I've cried and I've tried to help. I've tried to talk. I've tried silence. I've tried everything. Just do what you want to do. Here's this, here's that. Here I cooked something or I didn't cook something. I went to work. I paid for everything. Whatever I tried, nothing fucking mattered. Nothing. Having virtues, being not lowering my gaze, never looking at a man the wrong way, never doing anything filthy, and nothing matters. Nothing ever fucking mattered. So now I'm a little pissed because it's going into the too many generations of my bloodline that I've seen all this shit happen, either from or to. And when I met my natural family, I found out, well, talk about natural witchcraft and a narcissist that everybody caters to because either they're spineless or they want something from her. What they want from her is the love from a cold ass thing that they'll never get. You're never gonna get it, don't you understand? She's a lying fucking witch. If she lied about me, she's gonna lie about you. And if she acts jealous about you to me, well, then I wonder what she's doing with me to you. You know, get a grip. Really, sissies, wake the fuck up. You got it? And my brother, he knows better anyway already. He knows. But I feel sorry for y'all. You're waiting for somebody to die so you're going to be at peace. Whatever. Have fun. Uh, I guess only the lonely, right? But who's lonely? You know? Can be lonely for a good friend, yeah. That's pretty common from what I can tell on this planet. I'm talking a good friend, not a whole crowd of dimwits. I don't settle for half-ass. You're either the cream of the crop and you're my friend, or you are not shit. If you're wicked, you have a wicked heart and a wicked soul. That's who you are, and I don't want anything to do with you as a human being. I'll treat you like you're alive and like you have a chance, but you don't have a chance with me. Not like that. Not as my friend. If that's important to you, you know. Would a friend ever ask you to give up one friend for their friendship? I could see that that would be a real thing. I could see that Christ used to sit with the sinners, but this time. It's different. Yeah, you might not know that yet, but it is. It's retribution time. You'll see. I believe things are going to start changing on this planet, and it has something to do with the atmosphere, and the ether they always like to use to try and put thoughts of doubt or fear or whatever into people's hearts and minds. But I can see that changing around, and it isn't that I believe that these creatures are just all of a sudden going to become godly. No, but their knees will bow, whether it's out of shame or fear or whatever it takes. One way or another, these fuckers are going to be on their knees, and it won't be long. This is my observation, my thoughts, and my plan from the very beginning to rid what is filthy on this planet from the normal human beings that this earth belongs to. So, and all the animals that they harm along the way. All right, everybody, I appreciate you joining me. If you're new here and you have any doubts about my heart or integrity, or you have any questions, ask away. I'm the most honest person. My motto, I would rather die than lie. Are you so brave? I hope I love you. I hope you love me too. All right, everybody, have a good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Talk to you tomorrow.